has got to be one of the best forms of ube. Now we're off to find some ube. Ube in bread form? Good. When I first moved to the Philippines, I kept on seeing these wonderfully purple snacks basically everywhere. Now, I thought everyone just loved purple food dye, but wowza, was I wrong. Turns out it's ube. So today I'm taking you on an ube adventure around Manila, the capital of the Philippines. I'll be trying ube in a bunch of forms, from hole-in-the-wall bakeries and home kitchens to traditional ube snacks. And by doing so, I'll hopefully answer the question, what on earth is ube? Look, we've even got ube eggs. Hi ate, meron ube? Wala? No? For my first stop, I thought I'd try and find ube in its most natural form, so I headed to a local wet market. Right, I'm on the hunt for ube, so I've come to Comembo Wet Market, which supposedly has a mix of everything. Cooked foods, meat, veg, well there's meat, the meat section over here, deepers. There you go, some hanging intestines for you. Got them, and of course lots of veg. So I'm gonna see if I can spot some ube. Just ube kamote. So not ube. Is this ube? No? Is that ube? Just kamote. No? Kamote. I've got all the veg you need, but no wala ube. I didn't have much luck in the first market, but I was redirected to something a bit bigger, which I'll share with you in just a minute. But first, what exactly is ube? Ube, aka purple yam outside of the Philippines, is what they call a tuber. It's similar to a potato or yam in that it grows in the ground, but it's from a different family. According to most online sources, ube is native to the Philippines, but Food Philippines mentions that, based on archaeological evidence, purple yam was first cultivated in New Guinea. Either way, ube is most associated with the Philippines, so we'll leave it there. Ube has been a staple in Filipino cooking for over 400 years, and there's even written evidence of it in Tagalog and Spanish dictionaries from 1613. Right, now we've got some facts under our belt, let's go see what they've got in this market. Today I have come to Pasig Mega Market, which is apparently one of the biggest markets in the whole of Metro Manila. This place is so big that there's even a fountain inside it. And then we have the vegetable section, which is very handy. The vegetable area in this market is so big that it has a dedicated root veggie section, which a lady called Vicky very kindly showed me to. Vicky, how are you so good at spotting ube? Oh my gosh, look at it! No.
That's ube.
No friggin' way.
Yeah, that's ube.
I think I'm gonna have to buy some ube and take it home. It's so big though. Can I just...
We can cut it for you.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Can I just lift it up like that? That is how big. Ube is about the size of my head. That is massive. It's like a giant, it's like the size of a pig. So, now we've seen natural ube in all its purpleness. Next step is to check out some snacks. But before we do, a couple more facts. Currently, there's over 3 recognized varieties of ube in the Philippines. One variety, from Bohol, a province in the Philippines, is so special that it's considered sacred and even mentioned in their provincial hymn. So ube is commonly seen in things like desserts, breads, ice creams, and sweets, which is great because it's kind of healthy, in part due to its color. That purple coloring comes from anthocyanins, a word I don't really know how to pronounce, so we'll just call them powerful antioxidants, supposedly helping guard against cardiovascular disease and cancer. Speaking of healthy, sort of purple snacks, let's move on to finally trying ube in one of the more traditional forms. Okay, now that I've got my ube, I'm off to find some Ube Halaya, which is basically made from boiled and mashed ube, and it forms the basis of most ice creams, pastries, and anything ube related. So I've come to somewhere in, I think, more central Manila to try and pick up some top-notch Ube Halaya. Right, here we go, Aling Rose's ube maker. I found Aling Rose's Ube Halaya online, so I knew it was a small business run out of a family home. I thought I'd just pick up the Ube Halaya and leave, but that's not really how Filipino hospitality works. I was given a very cute corgi welcome and then greeted by Aling Rose's daughter, Rosalie, who invited me in, introduced me to her mother and tita. Hi Aling Rose, magandang hapon. Hello auntie, hello tita. And sat me down for my first taste of Ube Halaya. Wow. Okay, sweet, but not too sweet. Kind of like having nutty, vanilla-y mashed potato. Oh my god, that's good. I missed out on seeing how the halaya was made, but to give you a quick run through, you boil your ube, mash it, then mix it with coconut, evaporated, and condensed milk. Traditionally, Ube Halaya used to be made with fresh Carabao milk, but with the arrival of the Americans, this was swapped out for evaporated and condensed milk. Once cooked, it forms this purple jam/jelly, hence the name Halaya, which comes from the Spanish word for jelly, Halaya. It's then eaten like this or used to make other snacks. Which brings me nicely onto my next two treats. Ube Coconut Bread from a hole-in-the-wall bakery, and Ube Binka. New coconut bread made freshly today, it was 10 pesos, so. It's simple, not too sweet, but I wouldn't say it's too ube-y. If you're wandering around Manila, you often see these bakeries dotted around, so I'd highly recommend stopping at one and picking up something purple. Next up is my absolute favorite Filipino dessert, bibingka. Okay, so bibingka is another Filipino dessert, and it's basically a baked rice cake in banana leaf, and it's usually baked in a clay oven. For this one, I actually just stumbled on it in one of Manila's very fancy malls. I didn't see them making the ube version, but here's some regular bibingka coming out these mini ovens. This has obviously got ube in it, which gives it that lovely deep purple color to it, unless they've added some sort of dye to it. But taste-wise, masarap. It has this kind of earthy, deep flavor to it, but maybe that's just the cheese on top. It has got to be one of the best forms of ube. Before I introduce my two last Ube snacks, there's a couple more things to acknowledge. Over the years, Ube has made a bit of a global name for itself. Brands like Trader Joe's and McCormick have created Ube goodies. It's even inspired makeup like this eyeshadow by Filipino-owned beauty brand Filipino. But it's worth saying that Ube is more than a trend. In making this video, I've realized just how deep this root veg runs in Filipino culture and how beloved it is. And I'll be honest, I'm only scratching or digging around the surface. Now, for the last few treats, I'm taking you to BGC. First, to Market Market, another big one that's always got these food stalls selling traditional sweets. I've had my eye on this purple sticky rice for a while, but never tried it. The verdict? I obviously like it because I'm halfway through. Right, doesn't taste much like ube, but the colour is great. Maybe they just added purple food dye. And lastly, a more modern take on ube in the form of ice cream. It is kind of earthy deliciousness, whatever that means. I'm fairly certain most ice cream spots in Manila sell some version of ube ice cream. All you've got to do is look for the purple and it'll be there. Over the past year and a half of living in Manila, ube ice cream has become a solid favourite. Follow for more travel stories and adventures.